Hey y'all, it's Kelly here to give you the rundown on what happened in St. Louis City and county governments last week. Because if we already ready, we ain't gotta get ready. And I'm gonna tell y'all tonight's show is way different. This actually might be history for Transform 314. This show is way different than any other show we've ever done for two reasons. So first, y'all know I don't be checking for resolutions like that because resolutions ain't the same thing as board bills that can be passed into law. They're basically opinions. Yeah, they're basically opinions of whether you're talking about members of the Board of Aldermen in the city or the St. Louis County Council members. So I really don't check for them because, like I said, they're not laws. But I'll be talking about not one, but two proposed resolutions. And the second thing that's different about tonight's show is that the same resolutions were discussed in the county and in the city. I don't think this has ever happened, like in the same week, y'all. Like, I don't think this has ever happened in the history of the meetings that I've been checking these out. And what were the topic of these resolutions? Something that impacts St. Louis County and city folks. Proposed rate increases from MSD. So first off, who these people? So MSD, aka the St. Louis Metropolitan Sewer District, it was created in 1954 when voters approved a plan to combine 79 regional sewer districts into one citywide system for the collection, treatment, and disposal of wastewater, aka, yes, y'all, doo-doo and everything else that comes out of us. With more than 9,600 miles of sewer lines, St. Louis they say it's home to the country's fourth largest sewer system and one of the oldest. Something else to note about the sewers, some of these sewers are more than 150 years old, y'all, and that actually explains a lot. In addition to the over 9,000 miles of sewer lines, MSD owns and maintains 279 pumping stations, and they own and operate 7 wastewater treatment facilities, treating an average of over 350 million gallons of wastewater per day. Now, if I could highlight this whole slide without being extra, I would. Because folks need to peep this. The $1 million question for me is who oversees MSD? Well, it's managed by a charter which serves as the blueprint for how MSD, how they move, how they operate. Their leadership consists of a board of trustees, a management team which is led by an executive director and CEO, and a rate commission. MSD is governed by a 6-member board of trustees. 3 of those members are appointed by the City of St. Louis mayor, and 3 of the other members are appointed by the St. Louis County Executive. Let me repeat that just in case the people in the back didn't hear me. So MSD is governed by a 6-member board of trustees. 3 members are appointed by Mayor Jones, and the other 3 board members are appointed by County Executive Sam Page. So in other words, the board runs it. And the people that are on the board that run MSD are appointed by the city mayor and the county executive. Message. And people say boards and commissions don't matter. Yeah, you ain't gonna hear that come out of my mouth. Anyway, these meetings, they are public meetings. People can check them out and comment in person. And the meetings are also streamed online. I'm not sure if people can provide any comments virtually though, but go to MSD's website. You can find out all the information and the details, including it even lists who the members of the board are. So check it out. So what's the issue? MSD's board has been considering increasing residents' rates for a minute, y'all, to update its infrastructure. And I literally just told y'all that we have sewers that are over 150 years old and to work on some much needed capital projects. After a number of public meetings, the board came out with 2 reports with different recommendations. So the majority of the board recommended a 32% increase, and a minority of the board recommended a 24.8% rate increase. And both of those increases would be over the course of 4 years, I believe. So, because St. Louis County Council, they meet on Tuesdays. So the St. Louis County Council discussed their resolution, which was introduced by Councilman Tracus, that approves the lower rate increase, which is 24.8%. So check out his thoughts on this issue.
I just would also like to note, as I've done before, that this council has little real authority over MSD. But what's interesting, and I'm going to reiterate what the Post-Dispatch in its editorial page today indicated, that while resolutions might help, there's more that can be done. And to quote the editorial, MSD's Board of Trustees is appointed by St. Louis County Executive Sam Page and Mayor Tashara O. Jones, both of whom have generally set out the debate over the proposed rate hikes. For the sake of their more vulnerable constituents, they should rethink that silence and publicly call for the board to back the lower proposed rate hike. I read that, Madam Chair, because I call upon our county executive to do exactly that, even though he's not here tonight.
I have had several conversations with MSD prior to this, just with constituency care issues. And I know that there are quite a few capital projects, and every time I call, whether I'm treated rudely or not, it's on behalf of our constituents. There are constituents who are losing half of their backyards due to creeks and the overgrowth and not being taken care of. And the first thing that MSD shares with me is that we don't have capital projects. And so I'm trying to weigh this. Unfortunately, I can't weigh it fairly because I'm only hearing the current concerns as the representative, Ms. Diane, shared with us. But I've reached out to MSD. I know that they're going through new leadership, and hopefully they will find an opportunity to contact me back and we can have some one-on-one conversation. I do believe there needs to be an increase because there are areas in our communities, especially in North County, where there has been neglect of creeks and overgrowth, where people are losing their yards, where they have rodents coming into their homes because of this. And I think I had one MSD person tell me, well, you paid for it. So I'm asking MSD to hear your constituents, to do right by them, at the same time, make sure that you can adequately service them.
That's a damn shame. That is a damn shame. You paid for it? Wow. Oop, and I'm unmuted. Well, ultimately, the county council, they ended up passing their resolution and forwarding along to the city efforts. So this was the following day. So this was last Wednesday. The city's Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee, they discussed Alderwoman Spencer's resolution, which again was pretty much the same as Tracus's resolution, which was discussed during with the St. Louis County Council, and the resolution, it supports the 24.8% rate increase. Now, during their meeting, MSD's executive director and CEO Brian Holscher was present, speaking about the issue, and he talked about how the rate increase is really needed to provide much needed upgrades to our old ass sewer infrastructure. And then he continued speaking to how the rate increase would impact residents.
There's a question, what is the impact? And the question was asked, and I'll give you that. So the proposal that's in the minority report, the savings to customers over a 7-year period would be an average of $2.35 per month over a 7-year period. So every month, the average, it's a little low at the beginning, becomes more, and then tails out at the end. Around year 8, it becomes more expensive to the tune of almost $2 per month. And after that period, you project out the comparative analysis, it keeps getting to be more expensive than what the rate commission approved because we are borrowing more money, have more debt service, and therefore more fixed costs in the future. How long does that go? That goes until we're done bonding. If you take that, we'll probably be done bonding somewhere in the neighborhood of the late 2030s. And for the duration of the bonds, then we're talking, this will go on almost to 2060, that there'll be an additional cost.
So basically what he's saying is for residents, pay more now, I guess, and a little bit more over these next several years. And overall, folks will save coin in the long run by paying a little bit extra. And again, I'm just telling you what he said. All right. I don't know all the math and stuff. I don't know all of that, but I'm just telling you what they saying. So, Brian, he also mentioned MSD's efforts to pursue additional funding through all levels, especially through our federal level of government, to really help with making these much needed sewer infrastructure upgrades. And then Alderwoman Key, she had this to say.
I'm glad to hear that you all are pursuing alternative funds to take care of some of these issues. But at this time, I'm telling you what I'm hearing from constituents, that this is just too much. It's the straw that's breaking the camel's back. It's just one thing after another, and it just feels like everything is piling on right now. And in the conversations that I'm having with constituents and the struggles that they are having.
I mean, and I do have to lift up these comments from Alderwoman Keys because, I mean, city folks, I don't know if y'all done forgot, but just months ago, the Board of Aldermen, they approved an increase in water rates, something like to the tune of like 33%, maybe a 33% rate increase. So it's just like, damn, every time you turn around, we have to come out of pocket. Us regular people, we have to come out of pocket to pay for water, and obviously to pay for this service, which, I mean, is it the best quality service that people get? Whatever, debatable. But that's a lot for regular people to have to come up out of pocket. So I did want to lift that up. So there was an amendment or a proposed amendment, right, or change to Alderwoman Spencer's resolution, which the other alders weren't checking for, and it expressed something along the lines of basically like if the resolution passed, it would say that the Board of Aldermen, I guess, supported there being no type of a rate increase for MSD. Again, it was kind of like it wasn't clear about what the proposed amendment was talking about, but listen to what Alderman Vollmer had to say about the proposed amendment.
To me, the amendment says that they don't want any increase whatsoever, is what
That is how I
that's
read
what the increase says to me. That's what the increase will say to the public. And I think, no offense to anyone, that would be irresponsible to say that we can, when we know there has to be done, let us take a logical path to this, which is simply still an opinion. We all know what Mr. Villa said about resolutions, which I can't repeat here.
Thank you.
But
Alderwoman Schweitzer cut him off with the quickness, boy. But ultimately, needless to say, unsurprisingly, that committee, they did not pass that resolution out of their committee. Then Thursday, so again, y'all, we had Tuesday, St. Louis County Council with their resolution. Then we had Wednesday, City's Board of Aldermen, Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee with their resolution. Then Thursday was the big day when the final vote went down. And what was the verdict? Well, MSD's board approved the higher proposed rate hike, which means monthly rates would increase from $57 to $75 by July 2027. MSD board chair Amy Fair said the board's vote reflected its, and I quote, y'all, dedication to fiscal responsibility and strategic oversight. The public that was there, they definitely wasn't checking for the board's decision. And I want to know that this isn't the end all be all. This isn't the final say, because this will be put on the ballot for us voters to decide in April. But what happens if people go to the polls and they say, hell nah, we ain't voting for this proposed increase? Well, from what I seen, it has been reported that the average sewer bill could be as high as $104 per month in 2026. So I just want to tell y'all heard me say this on this here Monday, November 13th, 2023, that this issue will be on the ballot in April of 2024. And I don't want to hear none of y'all complain about any of these rates increasing and y'all ass ain't get out and vote. Period. All right, I'm done. I'm done with my soapbox. Just like church. You know, we got our announcements at the end of the program. So the announcement I got for you tonight is please make sure, if you have not done so already, to register for our big reveal on Wednesday, December 6th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Deaconess Center for Child Wellbeing. We will reveal the results from our over 2-month campaign, where we will share what our advocacy efforts are going to give in 2024 based off of the feedback we got in survey and from focus groups. So make sure you register. You can scan the QR code below, and you can also, or you can email me at kelly@transform314.org, because I got to make sure I have a legit head count so I can make sure I feed my people. So that is it, y'all, for this week, or for last week, however you want to consider it. Stay shining and see you soon.